Welcome back. In the previous 2-3 lectures, we have seen what is root locus, its properties, and the procedure to sketch the root locus. So, from this lecture onwards, we will solve examples on root locus. We will sketch the root locus for the given system. So, let us start with it. In this first example, what is given? We have to sketch the root locus for the unity feedback system, means h of s is 1 with the open loop transfer function g of s is equal to k upon s into s plus 1 into s plus 4. And after sketching it, what we have to do? We have to also determine the value of this k when the damping factor zeta is 0.6. So, how to determine this? That we have not covered yet, but through this example we will see it. So, the first step is number of open loop poles, zeros and their locations. So we know that P is equal to 1, 2, 3, Z is equal to 0, there is no 0. And the poles are at s equal to 0, minus 1, minus 4. And then we will sketch its pole 0 plot. So this pole 0 plot will be, let us do it here. S plane. So the poles are at s equal to 0, s equal to minus 1, and then s equal to minus 4. So this is 0, minus 1, minus 4. Then the step number 2 is existence of root locus on real axis. So if you see here, now from this what we can see, we have to check if, towards the right the number of poles on 0 are 0, so no root locus exists. Now between 0 and minus 1, at any point if you look towards right, the number of poles plus zeros in the right are 1, that is odd. So here the root locus exists. Then from minus 1 to minus 4, the number of poles towards right are 2, that is even. So root locus does not exist. And from minus 4 to minus infinity, again the number of poles are 3, so root locus exists. So we have identified the region, and that is root locus exists on real axis at say s equal to 0 to minus 1 and s equal to minus 4 to minus infinity. Then the third step is number of asymptotes and their angle. So number of asymptotes equal to P minus Z equal to 3, and their angles theta equal to, just we will write the formula for in the first example, and here onwards we will do these calculations directly. 3 asymptotes, so n will be 0, 1, 2. So what I get, theta 1 is equal to, if I put here n equal to 0, it will be 180 by 3, p minus z is 3, so 60 degree. Then theta 2 is equal to, put here n equal to 1, so this becomes 3, 3 by 3 gets cancelled, it's 180 degree. And theta 3 is equal to, put here 2, so this will be 5, 180 into 5, 900 by 3 is 300. So there is a simple technique to do this without using the formula. It is that if say number of asymptotes are 3, then the first angle will be 180 by 3, that is 60. Then for every next angle you have to add double of this. So if the first angle is 60, add 120 to it, it becomes 180, again add 120 to it, it becomes 300. Similarly, if there are 4 asymptotes, the first angle will be 180 by 4, that is 45. Second angle will be 45 plus 90, that is 135. Third angle will be 135 plus 90, 225. And fourth angle will be again 225 plus 90 is 315 degree. So this is applicable universally, and hence no need to remember this formula. Only what we need to do is, first angle is 180 upon p minus z, and then add it twice every time to get all angles. Next is centroid. So centroid is summation real part of poles minus summation real part of zeros divided by p minus z. Now in this case it will be, real part of poles means 0, minus 1, minus 5, so its summation is minus 5. There are no zeros, so minus 5 by 3, so it is equal to minus 1.6667. Then next is breakaway point. In this case breakaway point is required because the asymptotes will originate at 1.6667 somewhere here, the asymptotes, and from that it will take angle 60, 180 and 300. So this this part of, or this pole will move along with the asymptote of 180, and these two will move along with 60 and 300. So at some stage they will depart from the real axis. So we have to find out breakaway point. So for breakaway point, the closed loop characteristic equation is 1 plus GSH is equal to 0. So in this case it will be 1 plus k upon s into s plus 1 into s plus 4, that is equal to 0. So this plus k will be equal to 0. So it is s cube plus 5s square plus 4s plus 4 plus k, sorry, this 4 is not there, plus k equal to 0, and that gives me so k is equal to minus s cube plus 5s square plus 4s. So dk by ds is equal to minus in the bracket 3s square plus 10s plus 4, and that is equal to 0. So after solving this we get s equal to, let us solve it using calculator. In this calculator, put your calculator in equation mode, then degree is 2, so 2, then equate the elements 3, 10, 4, and just calculator gives you the answer. So up to power 3 it can solve. S is equal to minus 0.4648 and S equal to minus 2.8685. Now check for their existence. So this minus 2.8685 is between the poles minus 1 and minus 4 where root locus does not exist. So S equal to minus 0.4648 is the valid breakaway point. Now next is the intersection with imaginary axis. So this is obtained using Root stability test. So we have the closed loop characteristic equation. We have Q of S equal to S cube plus 5S square plus 4S plus K equal to 0. Then the root array will be, then the root array is coefficients are S cube, so S cube will have 1 plus 5S square plus 4S, so 1 4, S square will be 5K, then S raised to 1 will be 20 minus K by 5 and S raised to 0 will be K. So for stability, one is K greater than 0 and second is K less than 20. From this, if K is less than 20, then only this will be positive. So K less than 20, and so range of K for stability is, and K marginal is equal to 20. Then from the row S square we get, from this row characteristic equation will be 5S square plus K equal to 0. So 5S square plus 20 equal to 0. So S square is equal to minus 4 and S is equal to plus or minus 2J. So this S is equal to plus or minus 2J is the point when K is marginal, and this is nothing but the intersection with imaginary axis. Now as in the given system there are no complex poles or zeros, so no need to follow the step number 7, that is angle of departure or arrival. So the information gathered is enough to sketch the root locus. So let us sketch it on this graph. And as we know, most of the part is in the left half of S plane. So we will take the axis in the left. Take uniform scale on both the axes. Let us mark first the poles. The pole is at S equal to 0, S equal to minus 1 and S equal to minus 4. Then let us mark the root locus on real axis, which already we have obtained, that it is between 0 and minus 1 and minus 4 to minus infinity. Then the next part is, let me mark it here, 0, minus 1 minus 4, and then the centroid is at 1.66, so this is 1.5, 1.66 is here, and from this point we have to take angle of 60. So this is angle of 60, and I will mark it by pencil because this is not the part of root locus. So this is the first asymptote, second will be with this axis, and third we'll get it at equal distance because it is symmetric about the real axis. Or you can put this like and get the angle of 60. This one. So it is done. Then the next is breakaway point. The breakaway point is 0.4648. So it is here 4648, and at the breakaway point the slope is maximum, that is 90 degree. So it will be like this, and immediately the slope changes, and then it will move along with the asymptotes towards the intersection with imaginary axis is J2 minus J2, and with free hand it will be moving like this. Done. So this is the root locus, and the directions will be like this. This pole will move here, this will move here. But one part is yet left, that is, we have to find out the value of K when the damping factor zeta is 0.6. So we know that, let us do it here, the treatment. For zeta equal to 0.6, theta is equal to cos inverse zeta equal to, so you have to find out cos inverse 0.6, and that is angle is 53.13 degree. Then that theta is nothing but the angle made by origin with the root locus. So let us put it here and let us mark the angle 53.13. So exactly 53.13 is not possible, but let it be 53. And then draw a line. So this is the point where the root locus intersects this 53.13 line. So this is the point where the zeta is 0.6. So from root locus, for zeta is equal to 0.6, S is equal to, this point we have to mark, and it is, this will be 0.45, and here also it is 0.4 plus J 0.45. Minus, correct. Now, as this point is on the root locus, it satisfies the angle and magnitude condition. So, next is from magnitude condition. Magnitude GSHS is equal to 1. So, magnitude of K upon S into S plus 1 into S plus 4 is equal to 1. So, K is equal to magnitude of S into S plus 1 into S plus 4, and that is equal to magnitude of minus 4 plus j 0.45 into magnitude of 0.6 plus j 0.45 into magnitude of, it is minus point, so 3.6 plus j 0.45, that will be equal to magnitude of this will be under root real part square plus imaginary part square. So 0.4 square plus 0.45 square and its root it is 0.6021 into 0.6 square plus 0.45 square, its root 0.75 into 3.6 square plus 0.45 square and its root 3.6280, that is equal to 1.6383. So when K is equal to 1.6383, then you will get the damping factor of the overall system as 0.6. This can also be obtained from the graph, as what we have to do is we have to join this scalar, then join second pole with this point and third pole with this point, then measure these lengths, apply the appropriate scale. Here we have taken the scale as 1 centimeter is equal to 0.5. So measure the lengths, divide by 5 for 0.5 for everything. So total length 1, 2, 3 divided by 8. It will be approximately this. So this is how we have solved one numerical example, and also we have seen how to find out the value of gain K for the given pole on the root locus or for the given damping factor. From the next lecture onwards, we will plot only the root locus and we will not do anything other treatment like this. But here our purpose was to show how the gain K at any point can be obtained. It is enough in this lecture. Thank you.